Let's begin. So I want to go through a couple of Minhagim that are Nageya on Shevuos Haba Aleinu L'Toiva. Right? We've been speaking the last couple of days about Basa B'Chola. Very, very important, very Nageya. Good morning, Yaakov. How are you doing? So the question is now, some of the Minhagim that Klal Yisrael are Noyeg to be busy with on specifically the Yontiv of Shevuos. So I want to spend today, Be'ez Hashem, maybe a bit tomorrow, just to go through a few minutes to understand what are the Minhagim, where they come from, and maybe how to keep them in the best possible way. So we'll start with Erev Rosh Chodesh Sivan, which is of course Thursday night, because Thursday and Thursday night, Friday is Rosh Chodesh Sivan this year. The Shla Kodesh brings down that Erev Rosh Chodesh Sivan is a Zman Tshuva L'Tfila U'L'Tzedakah. As I state in the Shla Kodesh, Erev Rosh Chodesh Sivan, that's going to be Thursday, Wednesday night Thursday. So Wednesday night Thursday is a greater day of Tefillah for ourselves, for our future. The Chassam Sofer says there's a special scholar for Tshuva on the day of Erev Rosh Chodesh Sivan. Maybe we forget, we should have, instead of doing a Thursday night, Hachana l'Shabbos, Hachana l'Yontav, whatever, we should do a Wednesday night, Hachana l'Rosh Chodesh Sivan, which is, a gewaltige day, as the Heilige, the Shla Kodesh, the Chassam Sofer for Tshuva. Person wants to be Zeicha to Tshuva, take the opportunities of the days that offer specific scholars for that specific idea. There's a famous Shla Kodesh that everybody knows. Erev Rosh Chodesh Sivan is the Zman to daven for your children. Erev Rosh Chodesh Sivan is the time there's a special Shla Kodesh, there's a Tefillah that people are knowing to say. Maybe we'll put it out for the guys to say, and it doesn't have to be, but I'm not married, I don't have children, I don't have to daven. Absolutely not. We learn from Rachel that we daven way before we even need it, right? It's a very important thing. Somebody came to a Rebbe one time and he says, I want some advice with chinuch for my children. He just got married like about 3 weeks before the Maisa, and the Rebbe said to him, oh wow. He said, but Rebbe, when should I come? He said, you should have come a long time ago, years ago. Chinuch of the children starts way before you have the children. So Erev Rosh Chodesh Sivan, Wednesday night, Thursday by side, daven for your future children, daven for their hatzlacha. It's very important. Rosh Chodesh Sivan, that's of course Thursday night. Friday is the day that Klal Yisrael came to Har Sinai. They arrived there for Kabbalas HaTorah, which is brought down that Rosh Chodesh Sivan is a special day, Musugal, to Mikabel, Oil, Torah, Umitzvahs. That's, again, Thursday night, Friday. Mishnah Berurah brings Tov Chof Tes. Mishnah Berurah says that it's roy for a person to start learning Hilchos Shevuos from Rosh Chodesh Sivan until Yontov. So that's a bit difficult because of Shabbos and everything in between. So we're going to start already now learning some of the Inyanim. The days between Rosh Chodesh and Shevuos are Yemei Simcha. It's very important. We spoke about it, if you remember, by Shalashidas, many, the Strikova and many others that explain Pshat, why they did not get the Torah when they actually got to Har Sinai. They got to Har Sinai Rosh Chodesh. Why did they actually not? The Strikova Rebbe says, because they had a problem. They didn't have the full shleimus of Benodim L'Chaveiro of Ke'ish Echod, Belev Echod, and therefore that's the avodah that we should be doing at this time. Moving on, Minhag of Klal Yisrael that many people are knowing, that everybody's familiar with, and that is to have flowers in the shul on Shevuos. A very, very choshev a minhag. The minhag is not mentioned, of course, in any Gemara. The makor is a ma'aril. The ma'aril brings down the minhag of Klal Yisrael to put flowers. By the way, the real makor of the minhag says not only in the shul but also in the home that there's meant to be flowers as well. What's the reason? Zuk the ma'aril simchas haregel. The simcha of Yontav, which is obviously the Uli Achroinim ask a kasha the ma'aril. If it's a simcha of the regel, it's nothing specifically to do with Shevuos, so why did we do it on Sukkot, and why did we do it on Pesach? Okay, the answers, they have many different tiruts and why, Dafka the Medayik from the Psukim, whatever it may be. Other reasons brought down for the minhag is a Zeicha to Har Sinai, and another reason is it's a Zeicha to the Bikurim that they used to bring. The Mishnah everyone familiar with in Mishachtas Bikurim tells us that when they brought the Bikurim, apart from the music and the orchestra and the dancing that was going on the streets of Yerushalayim, it was amazing. They used to decorate the beautiful baskets, right? Each one, kol echad lefi madrigos, or whatever they could do. And therefore the decorating of the baskets is again the idea of decorating one's houses and one's home in that case. Now the Magen Avraham brings another minhag, which I have not yet seen, and that is trees. To put specifically trees, because the Rosh Hashanah lepeiros ha'ilonos, right? Now the Vilna Gaon famously was mavatal the minhag. He said, no, we cannot do this. This is chukas hagoy. It's a goyish shazach. What is this? Putting greenery and trees and flowers and whatever. That's a goyish shazach, is what the Vilna Gaon. We cannot do this. Now there's a big kasha. What did the Vilna Gaon be mevatel? Was he mevatel the minig of the trees, or was he mevatel the minig of the flowers? The Aruch HaShulchan says clearly he was mevatel both. He was mevatel, and he said it's chukas hagoy both on the trees and both on the flowers, as I state in Aruch HaShulchan. Many poskim, the Kiddush Yaakov, the Stipler, Reb Shlomo Zalman, and others held that no, he was only mevatel the trees. That's chukas hagoy, flowers. He was never mevatel in that case. In fact, it's brought down in the Marsham, beautiful tshuva from the Marsham. I remember once Rabbi Zul Obach telling me that whenever his father-in-law, the Rav Elyashiv, heard the word Marsham, he would go, the Marsham. The Marsham writes a beautiful tshuva, and he says that since the person is doing it l'kavod ha'Torah, memela there's no chukas hagoy, and Rav Elyashiv al Stamazon Eretz Yisrael there's no chukas hagoy in this Inyan. Memela, that's why the olam over here and in Chutzah, it's basically in most places anyway, are noyeg to decorate for sure the shuls and maybe even their houses with all of these things. By the way, to note and remember, flowers be'etzem are not muktzah, right? Detached, of course, we're discussing. They're not muktzah on Shabbos or Yom Tov, right? So, for example, if you have a container, right? Flowers are being sent all over the place. Shevuos. Somebody sends you a nice container of flowers, and it's got water inside it. Am I allowed to move it on Shabbos or Yom Tov for that matter? So, Allah is about it's allowed to be moved. There's no problem with muktzah. Rav Elyashiv al Chiddush, Rav Elyashiv wanted a taina that if the flower is not fully open and you move it vigorously, you cause the water to sort of like move, shaking it, whatever it is, under the flowers, you may be causing it to replenish the water supply in the flower, and that might be a shaila of zoreya. It was a chumrah of Rabbi Elyashiv. I never saw anybody else that came up with such a thing, but I'll upon him, if you move it, there's no problem in that case. You cannot add water, by the way. If somebody sends you flowers before Yom Tov, and it comes to Yom Tov, like, oh, vay, I forgot to put waters inside, so now I have a problem. You cannot add water. You cannot put water inside for the very first time. It's called a tircha. Why that's so ein hilchos Yom Tov, but I'll upon him to add water that's there already or pre-prepared, that might be mutter. Now, one of the most famous minhagim, of course, the most famous minig that we have on Shevuos is the eating of the cheesecake. Now, Einach Hanami, we spoke a little bit about this Chanukah, and the question is, what shaykh is to Chanukah? But the question is like this: where did the minig come from? Why is there a minig to eat dairy, to eat milchik on Shevuos? So, in fact, the most potent, the most easiest makar that you find is the Ramah, which the makar of the Ramah is the Maril, which is the makar of many of the things of the Ramah. But Akaponim, the Ramah brings the Maril, and he says, Tov Tzadi Dalet Siv Gimel, that people start with a milchik suda, and then they go on to a fleishik suda. Why? What's the inyan? He says like this, right? We learned this yesterday, right? We didn't mention it 100%, but we mentioned the idea of making milchik bread. So there's a halacha that's brought down the end of Simon Pei test, I don't remember it from Yeridea, that if a person uses bread with either meat or milk, and now you want to go along and use that bread with the opposite min, you have to have a different bread. If you've got challah on the table with the flesh flying all over the place, you can't use the same challah, and use it with cheese for malava malka, because it was used with the flesh. The mela had to have a separate bread. Zuk the Ramah, since I want to do a zeicha of the shtei alechem, the korban that was brought on Shevuos, the mela, you have milchiks, I had to bring a bread, because obviously I'm going to wash. It's a suda we wash, that's what you do, right? You wash and then you bench. That's a normal suda, right? When they asked once Rabbi Elyashiv, they asked him, what bracha do you make on a schnitzel? I don't know. Who just eats a schnitzel? Nobody just eats schnitzel. You sit down, you wash, you have bread, and then you eat a schnitzel. Nobody just eats schnitzel. Like Pasha didn't understand what the shaila was. Unbelievable. But Al Kaponim, when you eat milchiks, you have to bring bread with it because it's a suda sontiv. Now I want to go and eat fleishiks, so now I have to bring another bread. Now I bought the other bread. I have a zeicha to the shtei lechem. Boom, comes out from the Ramah that the whole makar of eating milchiks on Shevuos has absolutely nothing to do with Shevuos als the milchik shaboy. It's just a heicha timtza to get two breads. That's what it is. It's a zeicha of the shtei lechem, which is the korban. So what shaykh is the milchiks? Absolutely nothing. That is what states in the Ramah. However, of course, the Mishnah Berurah brings many other reasons. Mishnah Berurah brings, for example, a reason b'shem gadol echad. What was b'shem gadol echad? Zok the Mishnah Berurah, after Kabbalah Satayah, after Har Sinai, what happened? Klal Yisrael realized, oy vavoy, we don't know hilchos shchita. We don't know hilchos hagala. How are we going to do this? How are we going to eat flesh and shecht and do all the businesses that they had to do in order to eat meat? Memela, Zok the Mishnah Berurah b'shem gadol echad. They had to eat milchiks in that case. The Mishnah Berurah brings a kolboy. That kolboy says that Torah is compared to milk, and therefore, again, why it's compared to milk, how it's stored, whatever, right, in the Rambam. But upon him, that's why we eat milchiks. The Mishnah Berurah brings another reason, b'shem kolboy. There's many other reasons also. Beis Halevi, we talked about it yesterday from the Chassam Sofer, Parsha Vayera, by Avraham Avinu, where he served the milchiks before the fleishiks. Then you've got, for example, the Matei Moshe that says the Rosh Tevis of Cholov, right? Ches Lamed Beis is Chadosh al Hashem b'Shvuos Seichem. You've got, for example, the Nazir Shimshon that says Cholov is 40 days until Matan Torah. There's many different reasons why the situation that the day that Moshe Rabbeinu was found by Basya was specifically on Shevuos, and on that day they tried to nurse him and no one was allowed except for unbelievable Muslim that we find. So there's of course many minhagim when it comes to eating milchiks, and there's obviously a shaila when a person should eat the milchik. Should he have it by the fleishik or suda by night? Should he have it, before that? How does a person do it? Especially the Shagas Aryeh says that the mitzvah of kovod va'onig yontiv is only really by day, the more by night. By the way, people don't know this. You know how people Friday night they'll set the table beautiful, everything will be gavaldik. Shabbos day, like, all right, we'll figure it out. Mamish is punkt faket. Mamish Shabbos day is much more choshev as the kedusha of Shabbos than Friday night. Friday night, you want to use plastic, okay, but say the malasot. Shabbos day, that's when it should be set nice. The world has a different. You have a nice dessert, serve it Friday night. Why would you serve it Shabbos day, right? Mamish the what? I don't know. Avi, you know pshat in this? Shalosh. Oh, he's right. He's good. Talashid biskerecht. Shalashid savada. You've been trained well. Baruch Hashem. Valdik. Al Kaponim. The Shagas Aryeh says that the kovod of yontiv is more than the kovod of. So therefore, if that's the case, that's why the stipler used to dafka have the milchik meal by night, because it was only the rabbanon, and therefore by day he eats fleishik. Now, of course, there are different minhagim over here. Everyone should follow their minhag. The minhag of many bnei yeshivas, and that's the minhag of our yeshiva over here, is that we serve a fleishik yesida by night. And then we have a kiddush in the morning with, Baruch Hashem with the milchiks, and then everybody goes on to their probably fleishik yesida, right? Shimon would definitely be masking with that minhag, that's for sure, right? Or you'd go with the chotkava, which is dipping in the milchik spoon ben yoma. Very good, excellent. The ikar is there's the minhagim. We try to keep the minhagim. Tomorrow, Beis Hashem, we have to go through many other different minhagim about staying up all night. The kedushas halayla of Shevuos. Join us, Beis Hashem, tomorrow for more.